Hi, Sue here from Mystic Matters. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've been drawn to this particular video, then this is what you need to know. And the cards I'm using are the Mythic Tarot, and they're based on Greek mythology. Let's see what messages. Okay, so we're starting off here saying that you've got too much on your plate. Maybe too many people rely on you, or you're trying to do a week and a half's work in a week. There's just so much that you're kind of really bogged down. My advice with this is try to free yourself up. If there's people relying on your help when it's only because they're being lazy and they can't be bothered to do it themselves, then it's learning to say no. Obviously help the people that can't do things themselves, but you need to prioritize because you are important too, and your health and energy is also important, because you can't go on this way forever, because we end up getting sick and then we can't help anybody, let alone ourselves. There's lots of obstacles here in the path as well. I'm just going to say it does get better. So, it does get better. But here we have lots of obstacles. And the thing is also, if we're tired, if we don't have energy, because we're doing so much that we're doing more than our fair share, then what happens is that any molehill becomes a mountain, and any obstacle that comes in our path is just too much to overcome. So it's important to just keep your eye on the end result, where you're trying to get to. Even if you're not quite sure at this time, just focus on being happy, or being able to sleep for 12 hours if you need it. But just keep your focus on the end result, and don't make the obstacles your focus, because then you never get past them. This is all ties in. Fear and anxiety about the future. It's like, oh, my past hasn't been great, or parts of my past haven't been great. I wish this hadn't happened to me, and I wish I hadn't done that, etc. But what we do is we project the past into the future, assuming that it's going to be exactly the same way, and it doesn't have to be. We manifest our own reality. So the things that we've attracted in the past, and I know this sounds glib, but believe me, and I'm not going to go into all of the ins and outs of it, but we do manifest a lot of negative things to us because we expected them to happen, or we had fear of them happening, or we put our energy into those things happening, and then we manifested them, and we can't see ourselves manifesting anything positive. But if we keep looking back over our shoulder, then we don't have a future, because we're tied up. We keep reliving the past. We keep remanifesting the same situations over and over again. So if there's anything in the past that you have genuine regret about, something that you feel you can fix, or apology you need to make, then do it. If you can, then do it, and then you can move past it. And if you can't do it on a physical level, just send love, light, forgiveness, or apologies, whatever it is, and then close the door on it and look at today as the first day of the rest of your life, because the past doesn't have to be negative. If the past is negative, it doesn't have to translate into the future being the same. We can change it on a dime. We really can. And if we've manifested enough negative things in our life, then we're really good at manifesting, and we can do the same with the positive. We just need to change our perception, and we need to change our belief systems. Because if you do that, you're going to be very proud of yourself. You're going to be able to pat yourself on the back and say, I've done well. So I told you, it does get better. So you can really be proud of yourself if you overcome the fear, overcome the overwhelm, learn to say no to people who don't really need your help, but they just have they start to rely on it, but they can actually do things themselves. And don't focus on the obstacles. You will be very proud of yourself. You have a new lease of life. You will also attract new people into your life. It can be a love relationship to some, or a business relationship, or just people that you haven't known before. But this is about love and about upliftment. So ultimately, when we stop having fear and anxiety, we stop feeling negative or believing negative, we do tend to shed the people that are negative around us. They no longer find us interesting because we're not whinging about things all the time. But you will attract new people, new relationships into your life, which will be much more nurturing, and you will know exactly where you're going. A lot of enthusiasm, excitement. You'll know your path. So if it's just a case, and I say just a case because I know it's not an easy thing to change your belief systems, especially if life seems to have dealt you a really hard time. I do understand that. But if you can try and look for the positive in life. It's not so easy to find sometimes because we are surrounded by the negative. The negative sells news, and it's one way of keeping us manipulated as well. We as people, anybody that's fearful is weaker and easier to manipulate. It's just the way it is, so it's kind of not rocket science. If you're in fear of losing your job, you're going to keep quiet, that kind of thing. But the thing about fear is it suppresses the immune system. It can make you more liable to get sick as well. Whereas if you are proud of yourself, you're joyful, you're surrounded by people that also operate from love, and you know where you're going, you're less likely to be open to illness, because your immune system is going to be stronger. So I do hope that's of help, and maybe see you again someday. Bye.